Hey guys. Okay, so I am in the process of trying to harden off some seedlings for my fall garden. So I purposely picked crops that like a little bit colder temps because here outside of Dallas, Texas, it's gonna stay pretty mild even into the winter. So even though it says our first frost or freeze typically comes around the end of October, sometimes we'll get lucky and it'll be even longer than that. But even if it does come in October, these hopefully were started early enough to be okay. Anyway, just to show you, I've got some dragon's tongue beans that I probably should have had hardening off earlier. I've got one that grew really fast and it's already flowering, so I've got it out in another spot. This here, I can't remember what this is. These are Brussels sprouts, and even though I had them under grow lights, I don't think my grow lights were strong enough. So they got super leggy and have actually started falling down. So I'm hoping I can thin them out to get at least a few good transplantable seedlings, but this was the worst of the bunch as far as getting leggy and falling over. So inexpensive imported grow lights, not a good idea. Then over here I've got this really cool celery from Baker Creek, and it's Chinese pink. So I'm excited about that. It's supposed to get like a really super bright pink. I had a whole bunch of kale microgreens, but I planted these to try and get some actual kale plants. They're looking like they're struggling a little bit, but then some cucumbers I'm excited about. I just pulled out my cucumbers from the spring. They were goners. Some bunching onions, some basil. I'm excited. Then I planted some companion plants too. Lovage is supposed to be really good for attracting beneficial insects. Then I have broccoli, purple cabbage, and cauliflower. Those got a little leggy. I can probably show you that way. Yeah, but they're pretty sturdy. Like I heard that if you kind of do this once in a while, it's like wind and it kind of strengthens them. So even when I do that, they're not really falling over. So I'm a little bit more hopeful for those guys. And then these are actually called pepino, and it's a melon. And I've seen them in the store. I bought one so I could taste one. It was just okay, but I had already planted these seeds, so we'll see. And then some more bunching onions. So all these guys are out here for a little bit today to get some sun and hopefully a little bit of breeze and start hardening them off. So I'm looking at the forecast, and it looks like about another week of close to 100-degree temperatures, and then it's going to start to cool off. So I'm hoping to be able to transplant these guys next weekend, and hopefully that's not waiting too long. But I learned my lesson. When you're hardening these guys off, slow and patient is the name of the game. So they're only going to be out here for a little bit, and then I'll move them back inside probably in an hour or so. Okay, it is August 21st in Central Texas, and we are just coming out of a hot July. By my guess, we have about another week of close to 100-degree temperatures, and then things are going to start to cool down. So I'm getting really excited about a fall garden, and I have all my seedlings started. I have to show you these tomato plants, though. They're relatively healthy. I mean, there's tons of green on them. I have trimmed these suckers back like you wouldn't believe, and they just keep doing pretty well. I mean, there's a little bit of maybe signs of blight. I have picked off, I think I'm actually done. I think I got them all, but where it's all stripped like this, those were tomato hornworms. And when I tell people that I have 16 15 tomato plants and didn't get a single tomato. One of the first things people asked me if I got any blooms, and I definitely did. I don't know if you can see here, but it has been blooming. So, I mean, it's healthy, it's growing. It's growing to the point where it completely grew 3 or 4 feet past my tomato cage and then fell over. So, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't think they got enough sun, maybe, to set fruit. That's the only thing I can think of. But all of a sudden, this is one of the only plants I bought store-bought. It was way, way, way smaller. It was only 5 or 6 inches tall when I bought it. But this is my jalapeno. And I have a little jalapeno on there. And all of a sudden, just here recently, I'm thinking it's because the temperatures have dropped and we've gotten a little bit of rain. I've got a bunch of flowers on here now. So I am excited. We have been eating a lot of jalapenos lately, so it's going to be fun to pull those out of the garden. I started some watermelon seeds very late, and they're not doing good. Most people's watermelons are done. These kind of started out done. They have not done well. But this little shoot right here is all green. So again, I just think because there's a little bit more green on here than there has been, I just think it's because the temperatures are dropping. So that's hopeful. This is my avocado that I'm so excited about. One of my clients taught me how to start an avocado seed in a baggie, and that's the first time I've ever successfully got one to root. And it got to the point where I didn't really even have much of a root on it, and I planted it and it's doing really well. There's some brand new green on there. And this is my mango seed. I noticed that it had sprouted in my compost bin, but I wasn't sure which way was up, so I just took a guess and planted it. Nothing's happened so far, but if I did accidentally plant it sprouts down, then they may be gradually making their way to the surface. So I still have my fingers crossed.